having two young girls, I know the difference sport made to my life. I just want them to have the same opportunities that I had, really, because until they have that, it won't be fair, it won't be equal, and we'll never actually fully be able to understand if they're able to fully reach their potential. So it's really about the fight for things of reaching parity.
Because most of it's designed for men. And I don't think male rugby players necessarily realise that most of the women's team are in kit that's designed for men. So I think we're still getting there in rugby, but that is, I think, still quite a big challenge for us.
Yeah, and I think that's something we talk about in schools as well. You know, female kit, not unisex kit, female kit is a massive barrier to girls in schools. And even if you went as simple as said, your girls have a choice, they can wear a skirt, they can wear shorts, they can wear leggings, they can wear tracksuit bottom. It's their choice. I think that even something as simple as that would make a massive difference.
And Chris, I think with the kit and it being men's fit or unisex, the idea of unisex kit is ridiculous, isn't it? It's like, how can it fit everyone? Like, you've got boobs and hips or you haven't. Like, this is not going to fit everyone. But what they don't necessarily think about, if you put a pair of shorts on that was made for a boy or a man who have got narrower hips than a woman, the girls aren't thinking, oh, these shorts are made for boys and men. They're thinking, my legs are too big, my bum is too big. Oh God, I've got thunder thighs because I don't fit in these shorts. And so it's like, it's just reinforcing, very silently reinforcing the idea that I don't belong here and my body isn't good enough. And so things as, you know, simple as getting kit that fits is such a powerful statement, because when you're wearing it, it's not the thing that you're thinking about. It's not your body and what it looks like. It's playing the sport.
I do think we've made a difference because we've given more variety of sport. And what you were saying earlier, we've addressed the uniform. The girls, obviously, again, with the identity, I firmly believe in an identity for your sports kit because you're that team. They all have the same top, but they have the choice of wearing leggings, tracksuit bottoms, a skirt.
I went to Clark's just last week to measure my girls' feet, and the range of shoes they have versus what boys have is ridiculous.
Were they good for playing football in the playground?
Or like ballet pumps?
Yeah, but were they?
No.
Would your daughter want to play football in the playground with no shoes?
Of course they can't. They're just not meant for anything remotely active.
But girls are still embarrassed about their bodies and they still go through a really vulnerable time during puberty. And I think that won't ever change because, as we all know, becoming a teenager and our body changing is tough. But for girls in particular, if we haven't created a space where everyone else is comfortable with it, because you've mentioned female coaches, you know, we've got lots of male coaches. About 10% of coaches are women. We need to change that because girls will naturally have conversations with women about things that are happening in their body. It just as much as we say to the guys, you know, be confident, this is okay, you're not overstepping a boundary. We need to just keep breaking down the silence by saying the words, by not using euphemisms, and by sitting in the discomfort.
And it is normal to talk about sports bras periods, and I think it is more normal nowadays, but teachers more so are having more conversations with their students, but also parents are having confidence and they're being educated because that's who their children see more often than anybody.
But if your girls aren't happy or comfortable having those conversations at home, they're definitely not going to have them at school. Like, I've got two girls at home, 8 and 5, and they're conversations that we're already having. They're definitely not going to be able to speak to a male PE teacher if they can't have a chat of it with their dad. So you've got to make home a safe space to be able to enter into those conversations and normalise in not just the language, but the way in which you feel about receiving some of it.
But for me, we went through the generation of like girls exercise to be skinny and to look a certain way. And for me, it's like the shift of, no, we're exercising and we're playing sport to be strong and to be healthy. And I think rugby is such a brilliant example for that because, like you said, there's so many different positions on the pitch and everyone is celebrated for their different uniqueness to the game.
I always get asked, why did I get into rugby? The number one reason I got into rugby is because I went to a brand new school and I wanted to make friends. Like, if you forget the essence of why people actually enter into the sport, regardless of where they finish, go back to the very start. If you can really capture the essence of that and filter that into every class, then you'll keep kids in sport for longer. I want sport to actually have the greater impact, which it can do, like friends for life, the attitudes, the discipline, the respect, all of that. And you might not be the person on the field, the track or the pool, but you could end up being the coach. You could end up being the administrator. You could be the referee. You could be anything to do with sport.
I always say to younger girls, like, just go and try every single different sport. You don't need to just be playing rugby 4 days a week at 11 years old. Go and try lots of other things, because actually that's where you develop your skills for other things as well, is by doing other sports.
We want to be educating these girls so they leave school. I want every girl that I teach to leave sixth form and say there was something for me. And that they actually, whether it was the walk and talk in the park, or playing netball in the H team, or playing badminton at lunchtime, going to trampolining club, whatever it was, we have a recreational swim. And I have many girls that rock up and just jump in the pool and go for a swim. And it's brilliant. And I think it's that side of things we want to educate everybody, not just the elite athletes. If we could embed that at an early age, because the racket sports aren't easy to pick up. So if we can start doing that, we have to be creative and think about the future of these guys and girls' relationships with sport and design school sports so that it sets them up for that.
So learning about teamwork, about leadership, about listening, about compassion, about being kind, about bigging your mate up when they're struggling, all those sorts of things that when you are running a company, you know, I know lots of companies out there who want to recruit student athletes because of those skills that they've picked up. And I think we as parents and as teachers need to remind ourselves and be more deliberate about those benefits.